Joining me now to discuss BTC price and other Bitcoin news is our Week in Review panel with CoinDesk Managing Editor of Technology, Christie Harkin in Toronto, and Managing Editor of Markets, Brad Keoun in Austin. Good afternoon.
Hello, Christine. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Christine. Hey,
good to see
Christine.
you. All right. So, Brad, markets, we've been in a narrowing trade range this week between $30,000 and $35,000. We've had regulatory headwinds in the form of China cracking down on miners and cryptocurrencies, the Fed raising rates potentially earlier than expected, tailwinds in the form of Bitcoin adoption as legal tender in El Salvador, crypto infrastructure being built. So what is the catalyst that will get us either higher and lower than this trading range that we're seeing?
I think that's the $64,000 question, Christine. I mean, just looking at the charts earlier, and we're now in the sixth straight week of this range between $30,000 and $40,000. I mean, generally speaking, again, if our old pal Galen would hear, he would say the big catalyst would be institutional adoption, people buying more Bitcoin. And, what is clear is that every time we hit the $30,000 range, which, last week we had that crazy week and we dipped below 30,000 and we're right back up in this $30,000 to $40,000 range. So it does seem like there's a lot of buyers for Bitcoin at $30,000. What gets it going higher? We get to maybe a new phase where the news suddenly turns really bullish and people do start buying and the price starts going up, and then maybe the fear of missing out gets back and the sentiment starts to improve. It's probably going to be something like that, but nobody really sees that on the horizon anytime in the short term.
Well, one of the news items we received this week was that Mircea Popescu was reportedly found dead in Costa Rica from a drowning, apparently, by local papers have been reporting that in Costa Rica. Now, he was one of the largest Bitcoin holders, reportedly, 1 million Bitcoins. And he was a Bitcoin pioneer. John McAfee also died the other week, which theoretically, these are big Bitcoin holders. Brad, could that mean a significant amount of Bitcoin is out of circulation?
I mean, I guess I'm not familiar, with their personal situations, like who owns their passwords, if there have been stories of people disappearing before and their Bitcoin is gone. I don't know if their Bitcoin can be sold or if it is out of circulation. But big holders, you're right, it's a little bit less supply.
Another top story of the week is Strike. They're offering near zero fees on Bitcoin purchases in the United States, giving incumbents a run for their money, such as Coinbase, PayPal, Square's Cash App. Christie, what's the significance of this move?
I think that it offers some really great buying opportunities for people who have access to Strike, which at the moment is not even all of the US, and I think El Salvador will be included in this. For example, I'm in Canada, I can't use Strike. If you're in New York, you can't use Strike. But what I think is the most significant part of this is the sort of ethos behind it, which is that Jack Mallers, he's really on bringing Bitcoin to the masses, and his philosophy is that open source money should be free to acquire. You should be able to get Bitcoin without having to pay a bunch of middleman fees. That's what this designed to do, was to be peer-to-peer and not cost you extra and not have to pay out to third parties in order to trade and sell it and buy it and use it. So I think he's really putting his money where his mouth and his heart. And that, I think, is what is going to really give the industry a bit of a kick in the pants. You have to remember that Coinbase is not strictly a Bitcoin company either. It sells, it trades in 70-something cryptocurrencies. And every cryptocurrency, of course, was created on equal footing as far as its ideology is concerned. So, yeah, it is where Jack is saying it's sort of a race to zero. That's where fees should be going with Bitcoin. And of course, keep in mind, Lightning itself, the Strike is built on Lightning, and Lightning is a very, very cheap proposition to be sending Bitcoin on in the first place. So it really does follow that whole idea of keeping fees at the equation and allowing everybody to get to it and not have to pay an arm and a leg.
Right. And it does push forward the potential for mass adoption. I just recall in the Wall Street Journal this week, Bitcoin for the People was on one of the pages. It was bought up by NYDIG and a crypto payments giant, NCR Corporation. They're joining forces to make Bitcoin available to 24 million customers across the 650 U.S. banks that NCR services. The firm's obviously, there is NCR saying that they have been having a lot of demand from clients whose customers have been buying crypto through outside exchanges, and NCR has about 160 countries around the world with their ATMs as well as kiosks. So we're definitely seeing this crypto infrastructure being built. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
And they're talking about expanding Strike as well. They're working to get licensed in other jurisdictions. So this is really just the beginning.